I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I missed so much football this weekend, and I think it was a great weekend to not miss football. If I'm being completely honest, I had a very busy weekend. I missed a ton of great games, a lot of blocked field goals in the NFL. Shit was crazy. Let's get into this thing. So this weekend, first, let's start talking about Thursday. I know I always start these things a little all over the place, but let's start with Thursday night football. It was Bills, Dolphins in Buffalo. I think that the Dolphins proved something. That game as a whole kind of proved something, and that when we look at a bad team in the NFL and we look at a good team in the NFL, I think the margins are much more slim than we first thought. And I think the Dolphins have a little bit to be excited about if you're a Dolphins fan. I think you had some things working for you there that looked really good. Um, there wasn't a lot great. Tua right there at the end, throwing a really, really just really just terrible, really bad, terrible interception to essentially lose the game. Good job, fucking idiot. Uh, that's what you get for being too small, not strong enough, not mobile enough. You're no Drew Brees like we thought. Also, what's with Mike McCarthy? Is he Mike McCarthy? I do that every time. Mike McDaniel. Is he high all the time? I don't understand him at the past couple press conferences. And really the entire season. I'm like, what are you doing? What it's so you're giving off weird vibes, man. You're not giving off head coach vibes. You're not. I'll tell you that. There's no head coach vibes coming off of you. And I saw a lot of people were like, "Oh, let's take Mike McDaniel and let's make him the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills and fire that idiot Joe Brady." First off, Joe Brady's doing a fucking really good job. Okay, since he took over, turnovers has been way the fuck down, way down. And I'm pretty sure we're operating at like an 84% winning percentage since he took over as the offensive coordinator. So if you think Joe Brady's doing a bad job because he wasn't being super aggressive against the Dolphins, go fuck yourself, okay? I think that was complimentary football. All that was him going, "Hey, the Dolphins are explosive. Let's keep them on the sideline. Let's limit their offense so they're running short on the clock all the time. Get them to hurry up, get them out of rhythm." I think that was complimentary football, and if you don't think so, I think you're a fucking idiot and you don't understand how football works. Back to the original point, if you think Mike McDaniel should come in and replace Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator, you are rooting for a loser. You are rooting for a loser. You really want to hire the guy who you've dominated for years now? A 13-2 record, you want to hire that guy? Oh my God, what a stupid idiot he would be to take that job. What a complete fucking stupid idiot he would be to take that job. Look, if we did it, that would blow my mind for one. I don't think we would. But if we did, I'll root for him, obviously. But no, Mike McDaniel's great. Great OC. He's great play designer. He's gonna be sick. Fuck that though. Okay? Because uh until that happens, I'm against him all the way. Ride or die for your guys. He's not one of my guys. I'm against him. If they break the news that he gets hired this offseason, then I'll flip the script. What do you want me to say? I'm a loyal fan. But fuck that guy. If you want my honest opinion, I'm giving it here now. If you go to if you leave a head coaching job and you move to a position to work for the team that's beaten the shit out of you and caused you nothing but pain and anguish for several years, you're a fucking weak loser, and I don't want you anywhere near my team. Go coach in the NFC with all those fucking losers over there. Go be the OC for the Eagles, okay? Do that. Go get your championships that way by being a fucking like another loser move, but I don't want losers on my fucking team. I'll tell you that right now. Keep Joe Brady. He's good. Let's not make a mistake and like we did with Brian Dable and let him walk. Let's keep Joe Brady and fuck Mike McDaniel. Fuck the Dolphins. Fuck the Jets. Fuck the Patriots. Okay? That's what I got to say about that. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Speaking of Brian Dable, did he fuck up Daniel Jones? Like, Daniel Jones looks really good in Indianapolis. It's crazy how good they are. Absolutely crazy how good they are. I mean, I think they've punted once all season, and it was like the longest stretch ever. Or something like that. I don't want to say ever, but for a hot minute, like that was the most consecutive drives without punting. I'm pretty sure since we entered the Super Bowl era. I'm not 100% on that stat, but I feel really confident about it. I mean, if you've been listening to the show, you know by now I'm not looking up stats. That's not really my move. Not what I do. Not what my game is about. But I mean, he's playing fucking really good, completing 71% of his passes, 800 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 2 sacks, no interceptions. I heard another thing is that he's the first quarterback maybe since 91 to throw 3 touchdowns, run for 3 touchdowns, and not have a turnover. I think that's right. That seems right. I think he's looked really good. He's got the Colts. He's got them humming, and that's exciting. That's going to be a lot of fun to keep an eye on. They look like they're a legit team going forward, which is kind of crazy to think about, like that would be the case. I mean, they're playing the Rams this coming weekend on the road in LA. I think that's going to be a tough spot for the Colts. But if they pull this one out, we're looking at some real fucking meat on the bone. Like a lot of people were claiming these guys were the Saints from last year. No fucking way at this point, dude. These guys are legit good. Legit good. If they beat the Rams. If they don't beat the Rams, which I don't think anyone is expecting them to, yeah, Rams are minus 3.5. I don't think anyone's expecting them to beat the Rams on the road, but hey, 3-1 at this point in the season, I don't think anyone was really expecting that with the quarterback controversy they were having between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, the way Daniel Jones had looked in New York. Honestly, it seems a little crazy to say, but I think New York, the Giants, were right for taking him. I believe it was 6th overall a few years ago. And I was right there with him. I was like, yeah, that's fucking crazy. That feels out of nowhere. I mean, he looks like Eli Manning, so maybe that's all they were going for. But it didn't really seem to be a great fit. And then he had one good year with Brian Dable, and then that was it. And it fell apart. I think the Giants organization was right for drafting him there. I think they saw something no one else did based on what I've seen so far from the Colts. And I think maybe Brian Dable had him good once, and then and then ruined him and then made him bad. So I mean, I think I put that out on Twitter, and then an account responded to me. I don't have it in front of me, but they were like, well, no, the organization failed him because the organization failed to put the pieces around him to make him good. And I was like, I disagree to an extent. I think it had a lot to do with coaching. I think he wasn't very polished when he came out, and then when he got Dable for a year who coached him really well, and then all of a sudden he just wasn't it wasn't gelling. It wasn't a good fit. It was like Dable's it was a Band-Aid year. But now he's with Shane Steichen and he looks fucking really good. Maybe Dable was trying to coach him more like Josh Allen and he needed to coach him more like Eli Manning. I don't know. I don't, but I like him right now in Indiana. Indiana Jones is fucking lighting it up. He's playing really good. I'm really, really excited for him. Did not see it coming. It's been one of the more entertaining teams that I've watched. Now we're gonna bounce back. That was kind of a pivot into NFL we started with. Thursday Night Football. We're gonna bounce back into Saturday college football. I did not watch like jack shit for college. I was busy all fucking day. I participated in the roast of a local comic about an hour from my house. The roast started at 10:30 at night. I got home at 2:30 in the morning. It was absolutely brutal. I did not do well on the roast, but I did get to hang out and fucking drink at the bar. That was fun. That was a good time. That's what we do. I did not drink and drive home. Did not drink and drive home, but it did take me an hour to get home in my car. That is no admission of guilt. I then had to get up at 9 o'clock to split wood for the entire day. And let me tell you, that is one of the worst hangovers I've experienced, waking up immediately and splitting. It was not great. It was not great. And it lasted all day. By the time I sat down, I missed the noon window. Damn near missed the 3:30 window for any games. And I think it's bad luck. I had an awful, awful gambling weekend. Really, truly, one of definitely my worst this year. I mean, I went 5-5 in college football, and then I called it. I was like, nope, we're done gambling because 5-5 is not going to work for me. And that's the worst week I've had in college football betting. Week 3 for the NFL. You kicked my ass. I started hot. Started Thursday, 4-1. Thursday Night Football, all my prop bets. Sunday, you really kicked my ass, man. I went 0-6 at the 1 o'clock window on all my picks. 0-6 on all my picks. To the point I didn't place a bet the rest of the day. Absolutely brutal. I mean, I had the wild at 1 parlay, which I thought really made a lot of sense. If I'm being honest, I really thought that was going to hit. It was Micah and Myles Garrett to combine for 3 sacks. That game was fucking nuts. I think between them, they had a half sack total, and the Browns won 13-10 on a last-second field goal from the Packers. Now, I didn't watch the game because I was at work on Sunday, but if memory serves from what I heard, the Packers went to kick a field goal. It got blocked and then returned into field goal range for the Browns, and then the Browns what the fuck is that? Maybe Green Bay sucks, okay? I don't know if that's a fair thing to say, but how do you do it with the Browns? Their defense is really good. I will give you that. The Browns defense is elite. They've got some playmakers. They play sharp. It's been their strongest unit for years. It never seems to be bad. But what the fuck was that? This is a crazy stat I heard, speaking of the Browns. defense. Their rookie D tackle, Mason Graham, get this, 43% quarterback pressure rate, or quarterback success, pressure success, whatever the fucking terminology is. I'm fucking it up right now. 43%. There's a decimal in there. I don't remember what it is. The average for success rate on quarterback pressures from the defensive tackle position is 9%. You're pairing that with Myles Garrett? Holy shit, I do not want to be a quarterback playing against the Browns. You are going to be hurting. And if I'm an offensive lineman, fuck me. I am not going to have a good stat. I'm going to ask the entire upper management, GM, head coach, offensive coordinator, lineman coach. I'll be like, guys, work with me. What did you want me to do? Maybe this is when the Brown season turns around. You just beat the Packers. If you could beat the Packers, you could beat anybody. You could beat anybody. You held them to 10 points and you snuck out of there with a W. Come on. You could beat anyone in the NFL. Look up, Browns. Look up, Browns fans. You are in such a better spot than anyone anticipated. If you're tanking for Arch, I wouldn't. He sucks as far as I can tell right now. He shits when he throws. But, man, you guys you're looking nice. You're looking really nice. So that didn't hit. What was the other? Oh, Tyler Warren on the Colts. Does he just not get that? I don't understand. Going into this game, he led the Colts in catches and receiving yards with 0 touchdowns, and I went, boys do. Apparently not. Still no touchdowns, despite being second in catches and tied for first in receiving yards for his team. Massively, massively painful realization that he's just never going to score ever, despite being on the most efficient offense in the league. If you just look at how often they punt, they've punted less than once the entire season. They keep coming away with points. Not the highest scoring, but they seem to be efficient if you look at it from that perspective. Most efficient offense in the league. No interceptions yet. Didn't see that coming. No fumbles from Daniel Jones. Didn't see that coming. So that was massively disappointing. Then Drake May just didn't. I mean, he played good-ish. The letdowns really weren't from him, so if I'm a Pats fan, I feel good about that. Really wanted him to run in a touchdown against the Steelers at home. Thought that would be exciting for the boys in the stands, but I guess not. I guess he just doesn't love you guys the way that you love him. I don't know. He's still learning. It's really not that big a deal, but yeah. So that was the Wild at 1 parlay. Got little turn around on that one. And then all the other ones were game picks. I thought the Bengals were going to beat the Vikings. The Bengals suck. Vikings are good, even with Carson Wentz. He might be good now. Who knows? He's been with the Vikings for less than a month, and he won them a football game. Outsmarted myself on that one. Thought it was easy money. Sometimes Vegas just isn't wrong. You know what I mean? Sometimes they know what they're doing too. So that sucked. And I had one more after that. I can't even remember what it was. I think I blocked it out of my mind. I was so upset. Oh yeah, I had the Raiders to win against. It was the weekend of backups. Really, because Marcus Mariota led the Commanders to 42 points against a fully, as far as I know, healthy Raiders team. So, fuck me. The Raiders are just bad, I think, is really what it is. I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, you've got the number 6 overall pick, Ashton Genty. You got to really believe in him if you're going to take him there, and then just doing nothing with him. just seemingly making him, honestly, pretty ineffective overall, I would say. But what do I know? You know? Yeah, just tough stretch on the gambling. I want to say this to Bears fans. This is the game I watched the most all weekend. I watched probably about 85% of this game. And so what I want to say to Bears fans is fuck y'all, I was right. I told you America was behind you. I told you were going to go out. I told you were going to beat the Cowboys because everyone hated them and everyone was on your side. And it's still too soon to give up. You've got some real winnable games here. I think you're playing the Saints next week. Get up for that game too. Caleb Williams looked good. And I know a lot of people are out on him because they're like, "Oh, it's the Cowboys defense." The Cowboys defense is fucking ass. Anyone, any day, anytime, sober, fucked up, doesn't matter. They'll agree with you. Cowboys defense fucking sucks. So why get excited? Why get excited for the Bears because they beat up on a bad team? It's because the throws that Caleb was making good G the throws he was making, good defense or not, bad defense or not, they were good throws. There were some nice plays. Ben Johnson seems to be getting in the groove. He's figuring out, hey, what works for Caleb? What works for us? How do we manipulate the personnel? I told you it took time. I told you 2 games was too early to get up. You gotta commit to these fucking guys. You gotta be there for them. You gotta support them. And you went out and you did it. I did it. And if you didn't do it, I did it for you. I was all over the Bears and I was fucking right. It was raw. They opened as 1.5-point favorites at home. And by the time the game kicked off, they were the underdog at home. Fucking kidding me? To Dak Prescott? No one should be an underdog to Dak Prescott. He fucking sucks. Everyone hates him. I heard he's a nice guy. Nobody outside of Dallas likes him, and I'm fine with that. I'll die on that hill. Fuck him almost as much as fuck the Chiefs. They won against the Giants. It was kind of inevitable if we're being honest. I mean, the Giants are so bad. They are so bad. They're so bad that I think the Saints can beat them in a week or two here whenever they play them. I think they're going to lose to the Saints, especially if they start Russell Wilson. I mean, just hucking the ball up into mid. Who is it going to? You're throwing it into triple coverage every time. I don't understand. He had the moon ball for a game. But you know what? I'll say this. Russell Wilson, you're the come on the back of the week because you had one of your best games, one of your most yards as a quarterback last week, week 2, I believe, and you have regressed all the way back to where everyone thought you were and probably worse because that was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, what are you? Oh my God. Just bad, man. Just bad. I saw at one point you had 96 yards, I think in the 3rd quarter, because you keep just hucking it up to nowhere. You're not picking up any blitzes. You're not making line adjustments. You're just going out there with God's hope and praise, and that's a lot, and that's going to help you a little bit. But I don't. God can't call the mic for you. He can't pick up on a pass rush for you, my man. He'll do everything he can. I promise you he will, but he's not stopping Chris Jones from getting in your shit. I hate to break you got to do a little bit of the something here, and you just did nothing. You hucked the ball up to nobody. Malik Neighbors, 2 catches. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Brian Dable, fix this shit. Save your job. Get Jackson Dart in there. Let's have some fun. And if you don't think it's the right time to start Jackson Dart, fucking put Jameis Winston in. That's the guy everybody wants to see anyway. We we love Jackson Dart. We're excited for Jackson Dart. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. No one wants to watch Russell Wilson, and after that performance, how can you not put Jameis Winston in? I understand if you don't want to go right to Jackson Dart. I get it. If you want to wait till you play the Saints to have an easier debut for him, totally makes sense. Build him some confidence. Don't put him out there in a tough spot, but I don't think he can keep running out there with Russell Wilson. And you're playing the Chargers this week at 1 p.m. Go put Jameis out there. You're at home. Let's have some fun. Let's at least score some fucking points this week. How about that? It's been a fucking, you're 0-3. It's been a real rough outing for you guys so far. But like, come on, man. I mean, against Dallas, you put up 37, but that took Russell Wilson's best game of his career. Let's not expect that to happen again. He's damn near 40. Let's let it go. Let's move on. And let's just go with Jameis Winston. Put up some points, put up some yards, have some fun, make Malik Neighbors feel good. And then you coast into the Saints. Nice little debut spot for Jackson Dart. Ship Russell Wilson off to, I don't know what he's supposed to be. I don't know what Jackson Dart's supposed to be learning from having Russell Wilson on the field right now. That does not make sense to me whatsoever. I think you guys are making a massive mistake on that front. You need to move on. It needs to happen now. You need to go with Jameis and then go to Jackson Dart. You have to give the team something to believe in. If you just toss Dart out there, you're going to be fucked because they're not going to feel good going from shit, unproductive, and then we're with a rookie who is going to take time to develop. Put Jameis out there. That's what everyone wants to see. And you know what? If you're not going to, can you at least trade him to the Bengals so we can have some goddamn fun in our lives? Cincinnati, isn't that what you want? You signed the most generic quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. It's like 3 paint if you didn't etch a sketch of one guy and shook it up. You got the same guy. You need Jameis Winston. I want to see those fucking tiger stripes on his helmet, slinging a ball to Jamar Chase and slinging a ball to T. Higgins. Let's fucking get some pop in here. If you're the Giants and you are not going to play Jameis Winston, trade him to someone who will, please. We need to be watching Jameis Winston play football. We need it. So you have no idea how much he means to the fans of football. He's the best. We need the quotes. We need the interviews. We need the antics on the sideline. We need the crazy shit on the field. Fucking do it already. And if you're sitting there as the Bengals, who just scored 10 points and got fucking blown out by the Carson Wentz-led Vikings, and you're fine with that, you need to reevaluate, okay? I know that the Bengals are a cheap, shitty-run organization from ownership, not from management, not from the head coach. I really like their head coach. Jesus Christ, man. How do we have this many backups playing in the NFL this weekend, and we didn't see Winston throw a single pass? He's too good to be a third-string quarterback. The only reason he is because they want the rookie in there. And for some reason, we're playing Russell Wilson over Jameis Winston. That makes no sense to me. I don't even know why you signed them both. I would have signed Jameis. He's younger. He's stronger. He's faster. At least he can score points. Give you something to be exciting about. Something that he can learn. What'd you bring Russell Wilson in for? To have the most mediocre offense you could possibly have? where every play is just like, let's just toss it up into the air. I don't know who's down there. Let's throw it to anybody. The ball's up in the air for so long because he throws it so fucking sky high that the defender tracks it just as easily as the receiver does because everyone's got to stand around for 20 minutes, wait for the fucking thing to come down. How easy do you think it is for a defender to pick that shit up? Get Russell Wilson out of there. No one wants to see him anymore. Everyone's done with him. Either play Jackson Dart or play Jameis Winston. If I see Russell Wilson on the field again, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. It makes no sense. Abandon ship. Move on. I give a fuck what he did in Seattle. It's not working. Didn't work for the Broncos, didn't work for the Steelers. It's not going to work for you. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, Brian Dable. You had one good year with Daniel Jones, and then he was shit. You thought you could just make Russell Wilson magic? I'm starting to think maybe you weren't that good for Josh Allen. Because, Jesus, Buck, you haven't done shit since him. You haven't fixed anyone. You haven't had a good team. You're coaching for your job this year, and you're playing Russell Wilson? Hell no. You need someone who can score points. It makes sense if Jameis Winston throws a lot of picks because that's what Jameis Winston does. But holy shit, man, you gotta score points too. If I was in your shoes, 100% I'm playing Jameis Winston. At least he can execute every throw on the field. He can throw it short. He can throw it medium. He can throw it long. It doesn't matter. He can hit every route in the book. Yes, he's gonna throw the picks. But let's not sit here and pretend like you were gonna win a ton of games anyway. But you're coaching for your job. You need to be competitive. Not safe. You need to be competitive. Not smart. You need to be competitive. Move on from Russell Wilson. Wait a week to play Jackson Dart against the softest team in the league, in the Saints. Shouldn't say softest. The Dolphins are probably the softest. The Saints actually play pretty hard against one of the worst teams in the Saints. And play Jameis next week against the Chargers, and at least let's have some fucking fun. Let's score some points, because I'll tell you this, Jackson Dart doesn't stand a chance against the Chargers defense, and neither does Russell Wilson. Your only option to have any degree of success in this game at home in front of the home fans, you need to get them excited. You need to get them on your side. Fucking play Jameis, please. I've spent 12 minutes talking about this, and I keep coming back to the same point. That's what we need. That's what the Giants fans need, whether they admit it or not. That's what NFL fans need. That's what football needs. That's what America needs. Okay? Do it for the country. Do it for the country. Play Jameis Winston this weekend, and let's have some goddamn fun. Anyway, let's look at the upcoming games. We're going to try and piece. I know this has been, I didn't watch a lot of football this weekend. Like I said, I'm probably not going to catch much football this coming weekend, but let's see if we can give some semblance of idea. The problem is I record this on Monday. We don't get a lot of the props until, Thursday, sometimes Friday. The episode's already come out, but let's take a little sneak peek on these the Wild at One parlay. See if we've got anything cooking there. I mean, shit, this is already tough. I kind of like the Commanders at Falcons. Washington's -2.5. I might take the Falcons in that spot. They put up a big nothing burger this past weekend, got dominated by Carolina. You think they're going to take that shit lying down? Let Marcus Mariota go back out there. That's what I do if I'm the Commanders. I get Jaden perfectly healthy. You only need to go 1 out of 2. You think they're going to empty the bag and go all out against the Falcons? Michael Penix is going to come back in. I think he had a bad game. If not, they're going to play Kirk Cousins. Let's pick apart these Commanders. Let's score some points. Let's take the Falcons as the underdogs. I don't have the odds, but we're just going to fucking blow through them. Jeez, do we take another shot in the Browns-Lions? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Might look at the Colts against the Rams. That could be a really fun follow. I know the Rams are the favorites there because they're at home, so that makes sense. This is a bit of a sneaky one here at 1 p.m. Oh, the Colts at Rams is actually at 4, so we can't use that one. Let's go over. Let's look at the Panthers versus the Patriots. This is going to be an interesting game, and I think the Panthers on the money line are going to make the Wild at 1 parlay. When Xavier Legette doesn't play, motherfuckers score points down there in Carolina. That's just a fact. They sucked the first 2 weeks. Then this past weekend, Xavier Legette, healthy scratch, 30 points. Big nothing burger to the Falcons. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe we don't need Xavier Legette. Maybe Bryce Young. I'm not saying he's good, but maybe he's better than he's looked. Didn't look good the start of last year. Sat. Then he looked pretty good the second half. Didn't look great the first 2 games. Got rid of Xavier Legette. Then he looked pretty good against the Falcons. It's easy to run the offense when the opposing team isn't scoring any points. But I am not going to sit here and pretend like New England should be 5.5-point favorites against this Carolina team. In fact, I may straight bet it tonight, Carolina plus 5.5, and then I might throw them on the Wild at 1 parlay this weekend just to get the odds on the money line because I think a lot of people are going to be on New England. If Xavier Legette doesn't play, I'm going to look like a fucking genius. Calling this. It's Monday night, 8:41. I'm not even watching football yet. Fuck the Ravens. I hope the Lions are dominating right now. I haven't seen any scores, actually. But, dude, we have got to see more from this Carolina team. I think they're better than a 5.5-point underdog. I really do. I think on the road is going to be tough, but putting up 30 points isn't a mistake. Look at how the Bears looked this past week. They weren't that great. They got a little better, and exploded 31 points. And yeah, it was a bad defense, but they looked good. Caleb Williams looked good. The defense actually shut them down a little bit there for a minute, despite not having probably the best player on the team in their starting corner. So all hope is not lost. I think Carolina's going to squeak in there. We're going to put them on for one of those plays. I wish I could go back to the Colts because I really, really wanted them. I mean, we might go Steelers at home, and we might go Falcons at home, all on the money line, all underdogs. That might be the parlay. I don't have the odds. They're not in front of me. Let me see if I can pull them up. It'll be probably the safest. Not probably. I guarantee this will be the safest in terms of the number, maybe all year that we have on the Wild at 1 parlay. But I don't have any prop bets out right now, so it's hard to make those kinds of put-togethers. But if we take Pittsburgh at home plus 124, Falcons at home plus 130, and Carolina on the road in New England plus 195, that's plus 1419 as of right now, 8:45 on Monday night. I'll look like a fucking genius if that hits, but that's where we sit. Come on the back, player we already talked about, Russell Wilson, back to sucking. It was fun while it lasted for 6 days. Go fuck yourself, Russell Wilson. You deserve it. Because I want Jameis Winston. You really didn't do anything wrong. You actually seemed like a pretty nice guy overall, but you're the come on the back of the week. Pat on the back. Special teams, man. What was the deal? Again, I didn't watch that much football, but Jesus Christ. Every game was decided by some degree of special teams play. It was insane. Blocking a field goal, kicking one in the closing second, whatever it was. We had some crazy ass games, all decided by special teams. Fucking the Eagles beat the Rams blocking a field goal that was for the win. Time expired. The big guy whose name I don't remember off the top of my head at the moment because I didn't plan on talking about this, scoops it up, starts running with it. The big man takes it all the way to the house. Time expired. 18 miles an hour. Whew. Not a body in sight. Insane, insane weekend of football that I did not get to watch enough of. Next week, I'm helping someone move on Saturday, and they got work again on Sunday. So the amount of football I'm going to watch then is going to be pretty minimal. I think it's the secret to my gambling. I have to be watching because I had a terrible, terrible weekend overall. I mean, not the worst weekend I've had all time, but it was the worst we've had all season, and it feels like shit. Yeah, we're trying to get back to 500 tonight, and I don't think it's going to work. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. Uh, we're about to tune into the Ravens game here. Ravens-Lions. I'm rooting for the Lions. I fucking hate the Ravens. Fuck them. Fuck Lamar Jackson. I don't give a shit. Patrick Mahomes looks bad. I'm happy about that. So fuck him too. Making these ridiculous ass plays. The Chiefs seem like they're done. I don't care. They won. You beat the Giants and it looked hard. You made it look really hard. So fuck you guys. I think you're done. That's been the Pat in the Back Show, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you a lot for stopping in every week, listening to what we have to say. A lot of it is all over the place and doesn't make much sense. It's very stream of thought, but it is all football. I'll tell you that. I didn't get to see much college this weekend, so fucked. I think Lenora Sellers isn't going to win the Heisman. I think that one's blown already. So we hitched our wagon to that way too early. We fell into the big thigh hype, and it didn't work in our favor, I think. I think it's toast. I think it's cooked. He's not going to win enough games. I was wrong. Fuck, I was wrong. But thank you guys again for listening. If you enjoy the show, if you enjoy hearing what I have to say, go check out Rudy Tuesday podcast. That's the comedy podcast that I do with comedians Rudy Marinosi and Breck Michael. Comes out every Tuesday. Very, very fun. Very good time. Not a lot of sports talk going on over there, but just kind of guys hanging out, shooting shit, debating if dinosaurs and dragons coexisted, if dragons were even real. We just did, this past episode, we did an impromptu draft of best sitcom TV shows of all time. That's going to be a wild one. We'll see how the poll goes on that. But thank you guys again so much for listening. It's been so much fun. Please keep coming back. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at PatOnTheBack25. Follow Rudy Tuesday at Rudy Tuesday Pod on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys.